What's up? My name is Josh Gordon. I go by Just Wavy J, and this is a hyperlapse tutorial in 2 minutes or less. So what I have for you today is an assortment of photos from San Francisco, a recent trip I took, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in Lightroom, edit them, and bring them into Premiere Pro to make the video. Alright, so what we're doing right now is I'm importing 60 photos from a trip from San Francisco into Lightroom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a quick preset on here. So basically what we're doing from there is we're going to copy this preset all across all the other photos. That's really easy to do. You just Control-C, you copy your presets, you hit copy, and then you paste them onto all the photos you're going to work with. Okay. So what I've just done is I've copied a preset across all my photos so they all have the same look and feel. Now I want to show you something I just pulled up in my browser. So this is what you should be looking through on your camera, is your focus points. And it's really helpful if you set up either the grid lines or your actual focus points to see through your viewfinder. Now what you want to do is you want to pick one of them. Let's say you pick the very middle one, alright? So when I was taking these photos, I was focusing every single image around this part of the building right here, right at the tip of this triangle. So what I did was I took a photo, and then I took one big step, and I took another photo, and then again I recomposed my image so that my center focus point was right on top of this. But what's important is that you're focusing on the same thing every single time. So every single step I took, I recomposed my image and I made sure it was right on top of it. And the better a job of this that you do, the smoother your hyperlapse is going to be. So now that we've colored all of our photos, we're going to export them. Alright, so now that our photos are exported, we're going to close out of Lightroom. We're simply going to drag them into our Premiere Pro timeline. Alright, now that I dragged my photos into Premiere Pro, I had to adjust the scale of the first photo to make sure that it was fitting the frame, and I'm just going to copy that and paste it across the rest so they're all scaled to the frame. The next thing we're going to do is keep your photos selected and nest them so that you can adjust everything at once. So the first thing we're going to do is adjust the speed. How quickly do you want this hyperlapse to happen? And the best hyperlapses are usually between like 1 to 3 seconds. So I'm gonna bring this way down. Now that we've adjusted the speed of our hyperlapse and made it about 2 seconds, one more thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to drop a keyframe here for the scale, and towards the end of it, I'm going to scale it in just a little bit. I think this gives hyperlapses a really interesting added effect. So we're going to scale that in a little bit, and actually going to drop a position keyframe, move it up a little bit. What we've now done is we've added 2 keyframes, added a little bit of scaling, a little bit of position adjustment, and boom. So after that's done, we need to stabilize the footage because it's still a little bit shaky. So since one thing with Adobe Premiere Pro is you can't add your stabilizer effect on top of a clip that's had the speed adjusted. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click our nest and we're going to nest it again. It's kind of like Inception here. So now on top of the nested sequence, I'm going to search for warp stabilizer, dragging that onto my clip, and we're going to let it do its thing for a minute while it analyzes. So now our hyperlapse has been stabilized, it's been sped up. I'm going to give you one more tip here. So when it comes to hyperlapses, sound is really key. So one thing I'm going to add is a whoosh sound effect that I have saved on my computer. And there's a couple cool ones here. Really doesn't matter. I'm just going to drag the whoosh sound effect, come in here, adjust it a little bit so that it happens at the beginning, and bang, we have a full hyperlapse. Now the hyperlapse is exporting behind me. I want to go over a couple things we just learned. One, take all your photos and put them into Lightroom. Edit the first one and copy the presets across the rest so they all have the same look and feel. Export all these photos. You're then going to drag all of that into a Premiere Pro timeline. Sometimes when you drag photos in, the scaling's a little bit messed up, so you gotta scale it so it fits the frame, and then you can copy that setting across all the other photos. Once you've done that, nest them so they're all in one block. Once I've nested my sequence, what I like to do is speed it up to the desired length first so that it's a short clip, and then I add my stabilizer effect on top of that. The stabilizer effect I like to use in Premiere Pro is called Warp Stabilizer. Once you've done that, your footage should be smooth, it should be fast, and your hyperlapse is ready to go. Don't forget when you're taking your photos that you have to center your photo on whatever focus point you're looking at through your viewfinder on the same spot every single time. And it's also best to take about 1, maybe 2 steps between every photo, but whatever you do, make sure it's consistent. And lastly, add a whoosh sound effect. You can get them off YouTube, you can download them for free, but it's a really nice touch. So if you like this video, make sure you comment, subscribe, like it, let me know what you think. At the end of the day, I just hope you learned something. This is Just Wavy J, and I'm out. I wouldn't be a YouTuber unless I said like the smash button. You know what to do.